Have you ever had a situation where you wish you could just fill a couple of bottles of beer from your tap and not have them oxidized or lose carbonation over time? If you have, then you might want to take a look at the device that I've got in this video. How's it going? My name's Brian. I'd like to welcome you to another video. If this is your first time here and you'd like to learn more about electric brewing, see how-to videos and product reviews just like this one, consider subscribing and don't forget to click the bell so you won't miss a video when it comes out. Full disclosure, there is a local homebrew shop in the United States here that did send me the product for review, so I didn't pay for it, but I just want to share my thoughts and how it worked for me with you, so you can decide whether or not it's something that you want to get for your repertoire of stuff that you have in your brewery. Now, the device I'm talking about is a counter pressure bottle filler from Tapcooler. And this is not a new product. It's been out in Norway for a little while, I think 2 or 3 years, something like that. But just recently, it's been imported into the United States by one of the homebrew supply shops. I'll leave a link in the description for the product and all the accessories for it. Now, the device is constructed of stainless steel. It has a couple of O-rings for sealing in the faucet. And the way that it works basically is you put the device in your faucet. One thing that I did encounter with that is that if your tower is not tall enough, this device, when it's in the actual faucet itself, will not allow you to put a beer bottle on it. But there's some accessories that they make for it that we'll talk about here in just a second. The way that the counter pressure bottle filler works is that you need a forward sealing tap. And what I mean by that is you need either like a Perlick or an Intertap. There are a couple other forward sealing tap systems as well. You do need one of those because standard chrome faucets that generally come with the towers that you get would not work because they do not forward seal and they would spew beer everywhere if you tried to use this device with them. So you have to use forward sealing taps. The standard version comes with the counter pressure filler, and it comes with a small barb that you can use for the airline for purging the CO2 from the bottle, as well as filling the headspace with CO2. Now that's a standard version. Now there are some accessories that I think are kind of a must-have, and one of those is the ball lock fitting adapter. So you can actually hook up a ball lock CO2 line to the device for the purging of the CO2 from the bottle, as well as doing the headspace purge as well. Now, the other thing that they do make for it that I used in my particular case because of the tower issue that I talked about earlier, they do make a Intertap hose adapter for it. So you can take the O-ring fitting, the little stem out of the top that has the O-rings in it, and you can actually screw in a short piece of line that actually has threads that thread up into the Intertap faucet. The Intertap faucet system has different nozzles you can change out. Using a device is super simple. Now, what I did in my case is I have the ball lock CO2 fitting. I found that when I turned my CO2 up to about 20 PSI, that was probably the right ratio just to hook up to the machine. Now, you can leave the pressure in your keg the same as you would for serving pressure because this is a counter pressure filler, so you don't have to reduce the pressure like you do in some cases. I would recommend freezing or refrigerating your bottles prior to trying to fill them with the device because it just helps cut down on the foam. But all you need to do is simply extend the wand out, and that wand does extend quite a ways. I mean, you could probably fill Belgian bottles, any 22-ounce bottles, anything like that. I mean, it extends a long ways. So extend that out, put it over top of your bottle, push the button on the top to purge the CO2, and you kind of hear the difference between a full bottle and an empty bottle. When you press that the first time, you can hear it filling up with CO2. So after you've done that, then you want to push the silicone stopper on top of the bottle and then open up your tap and just start filling it. And you can see in the bottle as it rises up, there's a little bit of foam in the beginning, but then as you fill it up a little bit more, then the foam starts to subside. And then there is a knob on the side that will allow you to relieve pressure as you fill the bottle. So you can get the bottle all the way to the top. And because the pressure equalizes in the bottle as you fill it, so you do need to let some of the CO2 out as you fill the bottle. One thing I do like about it is that relief valve that you can adjust is very highly adjustable. So you can turn it with your thumb. It's easy to turn as you're filling the bottle and get the right amount of release on the pressure. Once you're done with that, you simply turn off the tap. I didn't do that a couple times and that was fun. Turn the tap off. Then you're gonna slowly take out the silicone stopper and let the final amount of pressure out, and then do one last purge with the CO2 using the button on the side. and purges the headspace, and then you're ready to cap the bottle. Now for those purists out there, and I saw some comments whenever this device was kind of made known that it was in the US, for the purists out there that don't want to use their beer lines and the beer tap to fill a bottle with, they do make another attachment for it, and that is a long beer line that has a valve in it to be able to turn it off, as well as a swivel barb on the other end, so that you can actually attach this device directly to your keg and not go through any of your beer lines or anything like that. To me, I don't think it's a huge issue. I don't know if I would use it for long-term storage of my beer if I'm bottling off of the tower. But, you know, in a minor situation where you want to grab a couple beers to take with you, or you want to send a couple beers with your buddy, send them home with him. He didn't bring a growler or whatever. So I think it would work really great for that. My conclusion on it, I think it is a great device. I mean, it's super simple. You can clean the thing and you can actually sanitize it and everything basically in a pint glass, which, I mean, that is really nice. You don't have to get out a bunch of hoses and, you know, cords and sanitize a big wand and all that kind of stuff. So the only complaint I did have with it was that the beer line for the Intertap attachment is a little bit short. As you can see from my video, it kind of is a little bit short to be able to put it up in the bottle. I want to thank Brian over at Great Fermentations for sending me the device for review. Let me know in the comments down below what you're doing for counter pressure filling, and keep an eye on their website because Brian is currently working with the manufacturer. They do make a canning attachment, so for those of you that are canning in the US here, this might be a great device for you to be able to purge your cans and counter pressure fill them and then purge the headspace with CO2. If you found the video helpful, give us a thumbs up. Remember to subscribe. This has been Brian for Short Circuited Brewers. I'll see you in the next video.